At Thanksgiving dinner, my parents said I was a useless failure and threw me out. Go live in the streets. They didn't know I earned $25M a year, so I just smiled and left. My name is Harper. I'm 32, and I run 3 tech companies that generate over $25 million annually. My parents have no idea. At Thanksgiving, surrounded by aunts clutching wine glasses and my sister Chloe glowing like the sun everyone orbited, my father stood and pointed at me. You're 32 with nothing to show for it, he barked. We're done. Go live in the streets if you have to. The room went silent. Forks froze midair. My mother nodded like I'd disappointed her by existing. I could have told them, could have mentioned the Seattle penthouse I own outright, or the 90 employees I pay, or the multi-million-dollar licensing deal I closed last month. But I didn't, because what would be the point? They weren't interested in truth. They were interested in the version of me that made Chloe look better. So I stood, grabbed my coat, and walked out into the November cold. Week 1 brought silence. No calls, no texts, not even a check to see if I'd made it home. Week 2 brought lies. My mother told her church group I was couch surfing because my online project failed. My cousin sent me a photo of my mother, clutching her sweater like a grieving widow, surrounded by sympathetic women. Chloe posted Instagram stories calling my work MLM schemes. She told people I'd spiraled. They weren't just cutting me out. They were rewriting who I was. Week 3 brought betrayal. An email from a law firm. Confirmation required for your guarantee on the Lane home renovation loan. I never signed anything. But when they sent the documents, there it was, my signature. Forged. On a $380,000 loan. I hired a forensic accountant. The truth unraveled fast. My parents had forged my name to fund their house renovation and Chloe's failing boutique business. They'd used my credit to prop up the golden child while calling me worthless. That's when something in me snapped. I contacted my attorney, filed fraud affidavits, froze my credit, locked down every financial account. Then I did something they'd never see coming. The loan was defaulting. Their business was bleeding. Their house, the one they'd kicked me out of, was headed for foreclosure. A private equity firm was preparing to acquire the distressed assets. I became the majority investor. Week 4. I was invited to speak at a Seattle gala for a foundation I'd quietly funded for years. My parents were their guests through their church group. When the MC announced the top donor, my mother shifted uncomfortably. Chloe straightened, probably ready to applaud some stranger. Please welcome Miss Harper Lane, whose companies generate over $25 million annually. The spotlight hit me. My father's mouth dropped. My mother blinked rapidly, as if trying to reconcile the name with reality. Chloe's smile cracked. I walked to the stage. Thank you, I said calmly. I built my first business at 19. Back then, people told me it wasn't real, that I'd never make anything of myself. My mother flinched. But I learned something important, I continued. Dreams don't need permission, and success doesn't need to be understood by everyone to be real. Thunderous. Applause. 3 weeks later, I invited them to dinner. Neutral ground, public restaurant. I placed a leather folder on the table. Your loan defaulted, I said. The firm that acquired your assets? I'm the controlling investor. Silence. My father's hands shook. You bought us out? No, I corrected. You defaulted. I acquired what was left. I slid 2 documents across the table. Option 1, sell back at fair market value. Walk away clean. We go our separate ways permanently. Option 2, 6-month lease. Market rate. Strict terms. When it expires, we cut all ties. My mother's eyes filled not with remorse but anger. How could you embarrass us like this? I met her gaze. You forged my name. You told the world I was homeless. You told me to go live in the streets. I stood, slipping the folder into my bag. You told me to go live in the streets, I said softly. So I chose to buy the streets instead. Then I walked out. 6 months later, I hosted Friendsgiving. Real friends. My team. My mentor. People who never made me feel small. Healing didn't come from revenge. It came from finally standing in a life I built without apology. A life where their opinion doesn't pay the bills, doesn't define my worth, and definitely doesn't decide where I get to call home.